Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the
Yo, yo,
Apostate.
yo.
How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. David, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, 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 what's up?
Yo, yo, yo. Hey, didn't you just have a debate?
Yep.
How did it go?
Pretty awesome. Guy gave a totally different response to the Islamic dilemma. And I like it. So he agreed that the Quran does affirm the inspiration, the preservation, and the authority of the Torah and the gospel. He just said we don't have them. We have no record of them existing outside of the Hadith. So the Torah is revealed to Moses around 1400 BC. We have no copy of it, not one manuscript of the real Torah, except for we know it existed in 7th century Medina. And same with the gospel, the Injil. It existed in 7th century Medina, but nowhere else that we have any record of. And so, luck of all lucks, the Torah and the only reliable, authoritative Torah and gospel existed in 7th century Medina, where they magically appeared and then disappeared right after Islam. And the only references we have to them are in the Hadith. And he said, by golly, prove to me that there weren't these phantom documents.
Now, I wasn't watching, although I knew that you were going to have a debate, but I was distracted, and then Cameron Bertuzzi, actually capturing Christianity, sent me a message and said, "Hey, are you watching?" I was like, "Watching what?" Oh, so I tuned in, and you were in the cross-examination section, and I heard some of the responses that he gave to your questions, and I thought, this is really, really, really bad. This is really horrible.
It is
horrible. Absolutely horrible arguments. Absolutely horrible reasoning. And then the last question during that section was, since he was claiming that there is some Injil or some New Testament that is completely different from the New Testament that you have, you asked him if he has a manuscript for that, and he said yes. And then, so what is it? I said, the Hadith.
Yeah, he thinks the Hadith is a manuscript of the gospel given to Jesus by Allah.
What? At that point, I had to turn it off.
And his fans are loving him for it, and I'm loving him for giving this alternative response to the Islamic dilemma. It's seriously interesting, because the overwhelming majority of Dawah guys, when you bring up the Islamic dilemma, they just reinterpret every Quran verse you bring up. He's not. He's acknowledging, yes, these verses are obviously affirming the inspiration, the preservation, and the authority of the Torah and the gospel, but it doesn't line up with them. Therefore, it must not be the Torah and the gospel you have, and they must be completely unknown sources that we have no access to.
I have to say, compared to this guy, Dee's response seemed a little bit more reasonable in his argumentations. But
who did Dee's response debate on this?
What? Not on this topic. I mean, when he debated something else with me. After I heard that response from what's his name, John Fontaine. After I heard that response from John Fontaine, I had to turn it off. I'm sorry, I couldn't watch the rest.
Yeah, I didn't notice until after our debate, when I posted the link. Twitter autocorrects John Fontaine to John Fontana. So I actually say I'm debating John Fontana. If it's autocorrected, is there some John Fontana that I don't know about?
John Fontana.
Searching for John Fontana.
Oh, John Fontana.
An actor. No, that's a special effects guy. He would not be famous.
Let's watch it. You watch it. You better watch it. John Fontaine thinking was completely backward. It was so stupid. It was incredibly stupid. I actually did hear one of his first questions during the cross-examination. Then I thought, okay, I can't do this anymore. So
what's seriously interesting is if you have these two approaches, each side is granting a piece, one of two pieces of the Islamic dilemma, and they're both agreeing with one and rejecting the other. Most Muslims agree that the Quran is referring to the scriptures of the Jews and Christians that they had, and that it's more than just Medina. That it's talking about the Torah and it's talking about the gospel, but they reinterpret all the Quran passages that that are about these texts being preserved and still authoritative. So they reject all of those and they reinterpret them. What Allah really means when he says, don't just believe in parts of your book, you have to believe in all of it. He's really saying you have to believe in parts and not all of it. It's like, so what they do is they just say Allah means the opposite of what he says over and over and over again. So yeah, those Muslims, they agree. Yes, it is talking about the Jewish and Christian scriptures that Jews and Christians have, but it's not affirming their perfect preservation or divine authority or anything like that. So they have to reinterpret all these verses. Whereas he's saying, yes, the Quran verses are clear. The Quran is affirming inspiration, preservation, authority. It's just not those scriptures. It's phantom scriptures that no one has access to. And so Allah's main arguments in the Quran just went bye-bye. Because his main arguments for why Jews and Christians should believe in Muhammad and the Quran is that the Quran affirms our scriptures, but it's not, according to him. It's affirming other scriptures that we don't have access to. And the other main argument is Muhammad is prophesied in our scriptures, but we don't have this, but it's in scriptures that we don't have. So Allah's two main arguments for why Jews and Christians should believe in Muhammad are all completely bogus. Not according to me, according to John Fontaine, because we don't have the scriptures that Allah is using to confirm Islam. So anyway, the point is, you put those together, John Fontaine agrees, these texts are obvious, the Quran is obviously affirming inspiration, preservation, authority, and you take the other side, yes, it's obviously talking about the Jewish and Christian scriptures, you put those together, boom, Islamic dilemma. They're both granting half of it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm kind of creating a new song. What do you think about it? It's a beautiful song explaining why Islam is true from a Muslim perspective, specifically from the perspective of Muhammad. What do you think about the lyrics, David? Wait, let me play this.
Salam alaikum,
Yes, jeez.
This thing is trust. If it's in a go round, big, gotta be right.
Oh, mumble rap.
Later, light on light. Moon split. I saw it with my sight. Oh, Arabia, knew I wanna fight. Hey. Bible said me big in a black and white. Profit for 2 big, check the vibe facts. If you doubt big, look at the sky. Sun go west, big, Islam don't lie. Big, where the Quran got rhymes so neat. Can't no man write words so sweet. Nah, if I was little, hell I got heat.
What do you think? Beautiful lyrics, right?
Pretty much torture. Like the Quran.
I thought it sounded better than the Quran, so I thought it might be, I think it's better than the Quran. And it sounds better than the Quran at least, right?
Would it sounds better than the Quran, but it's still terrible.
Good. Thank you. So anyway, this song is called Islam True, and I'm currently working on this beautiful song. As you could tell, there were some really fantastic arguments in there, as you have just heard. Very, very fantastic stuff. All right, Mark H said, David, how did he affirm the preservation of the Torah and the Gospel? The whole debate, I kept thinking, I must be misunderstanding his argument.
Yeah, he was, but he's just saying we don't have them anymore. We have no record of them even existing outside the Muslim sources. But yet, revealed to Moses, we don't have a single manuscript of it anywhere. But it was somehow magically in 7th century Arabia, specifically Medina. And same thing with the Gospel. It's just extreme luck that both books happen to be in Medina in the 7th century. Sadly, they disappeared right after it, but they miraculously appeared and then miraculously disappeared.
Fantastic. Love you guys, says Sonora Kemal. Thank you for all you do. I hope to attend a workshop in Arizona and may meet y'all the next time. Make it out west. Much love. Fantastic. Do that. Inshallah. Did you see Mike Winger's video response to the people who are trying to intimidate the witnesses and even him for his new video? He's real tough now, says Shake Sponge. Mike Winger made a video?
What
is About what? About?
Intimidate the witnesses. What's he exposing someone again?
I think it's about the Charlie Kirk thing or something. Let me see. My message to the goons and a request for your help. Huh. Interesting. To the goons.
I have a quick update about the Predator of Panama, and I have a favor to ask of you guys, my Christian brothers and sisters. So the update is this. Steve Coco, who I exposed in a video that I uploaded just a couple days ago, his goons are at it again.
Who's Coco? I have
No idea. I never have any clue who Mike Winger is responding to. He'll be like, "This is a much needed response to Rippleton Hallbanks III." And I'm like, "Who?" Everything.
Ida Rogozin says they were stolen by the men of El Zut.
That's what happened to the books. The El Zut got them.
The El Zut stole the books. They stole the manuscripts. That's why they don't exist anymore. Cocoa beans. What's up?
Den Can said some dirtbag running a ministry abused a few women and Mikey's over the target. So I guess that's the background.
Oh, that's cool. That's interesting. That's cool. Yeah. Let's see, man. Let's see. David, have you heard of this guy Netanyahu?
Yeah, I didn't. There's been a bunch of stuff happening at the UN. I've seen tweets about it. I haven't seen anything from it. I saw that a bunch of people walked out on Netanyahu speaking. That's all I know about it.
Yeah, he was giving a speech at the Unga Bunga, which stands for United Nations General Assembly. So, and there was, of course, this very mature act of people waiting until he goes on stage and then walking out together, which was to show that they are grown-up people who are representing countries in diplomatic relations.
Item 8, entitled General Debate.
What you talking about, man?
The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of the State of Israel.
You said His
I
Excellency? What
request
did you
protocol
say?
to
Supreme
expose His
genocider.
Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
Thunderous applause from every country.
So as you can see, all the nations are applauding Benjamin Netanyahu.
Those were all Muslim nations that were cheering.
Those were actually all the nations that are in the room were applauding. As you can see, they're all applauding him here in the front and in the back. So very, 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 very cool.
Hello, everyone.
And you have some hijabis walking out. You're not supposed to be there to begin with. Go home and cook something for your husband or something. I don't know. What are you doing there?
Please order in the hall. Please order in the hall.
I think that's what Al-Zut said to Muhammad. Order in the hole. Well,
Please order in the hall.
Please order in the hall. Please order in the hall.
Order in the hole, Muhammad.
Please order in the hall.
Can you imagine? Like, this is you have people representing entire nations, people representing nations, people there to represent nations in a diplomatic environment, in order to engage in in I don't know, diplomatic relationships and debating, disagreeing, agreeing, and so on. And then these adults, these grown-ups who are supposed to represent your nations, are like, I have a brilliant idea. I'm going to walk out just when he's on stage. I am going to walk out. Look at me. I'm going to be on camera walking out. Let's all walk out together. That will show him. That will show him. It's awesome. It's so cool.
Hey, you know what would have been funny?
Cool.
Hey, you know what would have been funny? If BB just gets up to the mic and he just goes, Well then, bye. Might have been based.
It would be. It would be. But he's just standing there. Here's some guy says, Ali Reza says, of course, Ali Reza, what a noob this AP.
True.
You don't even know what a noob is. Like, why do you come here and try to use first world language? Man?
Yeah, you have to be a noob at something. What are you a noob at?
I have no idea.
Come on, say it. Bye.
Please order in the hall and please
then.
be seated.
Bye. Or it'd be super based if he said, started off with too much cargo, so we got rid of Benedict Arnold's.
Please order in the hall.
Oh, zoop.
We don't want to listen to this.
Order in Muhammad's hole.
Mr. President, the families of our dear hostages languishing in the dungeons of Gaza. Ladies and gentlemen, last year, I stood at this podium and I showed this map. This map. It shows the curse.
What the heck was that? All I heard was.
What the hell was that?
I don't know. That's why I asked you.
I stood at this podium and I showed this map. This map. It shows the curse of Iran.
And he's just ignoring it. What the hell was that? Was it demon possession or something?
And he goes right back to his visual aids. He's got some guy in there going.
Somebody said, I think that's what he said, right?
It's like a slower version of what the Tasmanian devil sounds like. He's like, it's like a slower version of that.
Oh, man.
Someone possessed by a Momo.
What's that? Yeah, that's what it was.
On terror axis. This map. This map. It shows.
What was that?
This axis threatened the peace of the entire world. It threatened the stability of our region and the very existence of my country, Israel. Iran was rapidly developing a massive nuclear weapons program and a massive ballistic missile program. These were meant not only to destroy Israel, they were meant also to threaten the United States and blackmail nations everywhere. From Gaza, Yahya Sinwar dispatched waves of Hamas terrorists. They stormed into Israel on October 7th and committed acts of unspeakable savagery.
That's what they did.
From Lebanon, Hassan Nasrallah had launched thousands of missiles and rockets at our cities.
Hang on, I have to fix that here for a second.
What?
Playback speed. Let's see if I play it a little bit faster.
Terrorizing our citizens. In Syria, the murderous dictator Assad hosted Iran's forces, tightening a noose of death around our throats. In Yemen, the Houthis launched ballistic missiles at Israel while choking global trade at the mouth of the Red Sea. So what's happened over the past year? We've hammered the Houthis.
There was that screaming again. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, how did they not get that person out of there, man?
Order!
Did they just walk over to him and be like, "Hey, just quiet down while the speech is going on"?
Order in the hole.
While choking global trade at the mouth of the Red Sea. So what's happened over the past year?
What is this?
We are not barbarians.
Hammered the Houthis, including yesterday.
Not in the Al Zut sense.
We crushed the bulk of Hamas's terror machine.
Not like Al Zut crush
We
Muhammad.
crippled Hezbollah, taking out most of its leaders and much of its weapons arsenal. You remember those people?
And their balls. Don't forget their balls.
We paged Hezbollah. And believe
I did not expect him to. I did not expect, dude. That should be clipped, man.
He said we paged Hezbollah.
That should be its own clip on Twitter.
He said we paged Hezbollah.
We paged him.
most of its leaders
Wait a minute.
You got to play
and
that
much
again,
of
man.
its weapons arsenal. You remember those beepers? The pagers? We paged Hezbollah. And believe me, they got the message. And thousands-
Oh boy, man! I did not expect him to.
He's actually joking about the beepers, man. That's
We paged him.
they got the best.
They got the message. For anyone who has missed all the news, they blew off the testicles of tons of Hezbollah jihadis. All the Hezbollah jihadis are like, cell phones can be traced. We need something that can't be traced. Let's put in a big order for beepers from the 1980s.
Oh, very good idea.
And then they're like, yes, let's buy them. And Israel loaded them up with little bits of C4. And then these guys all had their little beeper. I mean, there's little beepers. Probably came with a little instruction book that said, attach this to the front. Attach this to the front. Right on your belt level. And blew off all their testicles. And they were terrorists. And everyone moaned and wailed, oh, how dare you blow off the testicles of a bunch of jihadis who've vowed to exterminate you. Shame on you.
Okay, I was looking for a different version of this, but can't find one.
Thousands of terrorists. Thousands of terrorists
What are you doing? Replay that so we can see it in the context of the cheering.
dropped.
Hey, why are they cheering on killing people, man? What is this?
They got the message. And thousands of terrorists. You remember those beepers? The pagers? We paged Hezbollah. And believe me, they got the message. And thousands of terrorists.
See, look, the whole world is cheering.
Dropped to the ground. We destroyed Assad's armaments in Syria. We deterred Iran's Shiite militias in Iraq. And most importantly, and above anything else that I could say to you or that we did in this past year, in this past decade, we devastated Iran's atomic weapons and ballistic missiles programs. So here's where things stand today.
I saw this part. This was kind of super based.
I'm guessing he's going to point out that the curse has been significantly reduced as
Houthi
the
leadership
testicles have.
in Yemen, gone. Yahya Sinwar in Gaza, gone. Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon, gone. The Assad regime in Syria, gone. Those militias in Iraq, well, they're still deterred. And their leaders, if they attack Israel, will also be gone. And for Iran,
I seriously expected him to come out and because you got a ton of people nonstop complaining about him come out and be super nice instead. If they screw with us, they'll be gone, just like everyone else who screws with us. Dang.
Military commanders and his top atomic bomb scientists, well, they're gone too.
Dude ain't playing around, man.
Israel's 12-day war with Iran, which
He said no regrets.
I renamed Operation Rising Lion, that's from the Bible. This 12-day war will go down in the annals of military history.
But not like
The old Zut went down in the annals of Muhammad's. Oh boy.
be serious, man. We're watching a serious speech here.
Oh yeah, come on. We're trying to watch a serious speech, and you're just making all Zut jokes, man.
Wait a minute. Can I scan this QR code here? Let's see what happens.
What QR code?
There's a QR code on his thing. Can I scan it from here? I can't.
You got to zoom way in, man.
Oh. If I zoom way in, nope, it doesn't work. Not good enough.
You can probably find a picture of them that
Named-
close up, and then you can scan that.
Operation
Let's see now.
Rising
I think I just
Lion, that's from the Bible.
got it. Nope.
Did
But
you
I
say
found some-
Operation Rising Lion is from the Bible?
Yes.
Right there in Isaiah it says we will launch Operation Rising Lion.
So I actually, I think he explains it later on, but Michael Rappaport actually and some other people shared
Hold up.
watch the
Michael
QR code.
Rappaport, the actor?
Yes.
Huh.
He actually shared what it is. Michael Rappaport, the actor, who is following me.
Oh.
See, actors are following me.
He's following me too.
Oh,
Just because we went to his bar mitzvah.
What's BB wearing? What is this QR code? Now here it is. You can scan it right here. In fact, I could probably try scanning it here
Do it.
from my
Do
from my phone. But the
Do
thing
it.
is,
I don't have my phone. Do it.
I know where it leads, but I don't want to put it on the screen because what it leads to is the website Saturday-October-7.com, a website that is directly full of extremely graphic footage from October 7.
I still have never gone to that site.
This website contains extremely difficult to watch content
Do
from
not-
terrible
do not say that.
massacre carried out by Hamas on the 7th of October. I'm not going to enter it, but this is basically where it leads to. So he actually put that
So you're the opposite of all Zut.
on here and went to the United Nations General Assembly with that to show everyone what Hamas did.
You mean the Hamas freedom fighters?
Yes.
12-day war will go down in the annals of military history.
Like Mo.
Our daring pilots neutralized Iran's missile defenses and took control.
Muhammad had no missile defenses.
And you saw this. Israeli fighter pilots and American B-2 pilots bombed Iran's nuclear enrichment sites. I want to thank President Trump for his bold and decisive action.
They're sending us the new Zut missiles.
President Trump and I promised to prevent Iran from
Hey, what is this? What is with this thing, man? What is with the United Nations? Look at this. Look at these chairs. I notice this every time. The chairs are terrible.
Yeah, they're all
Like,
crap. I've noticed that over. Like, wouldn't you expect this to be like super advanced and nice? And especially when you look at close up, everything looks like something from an old stadium that hasn't been refurbished in 40 years.
and they have these stupid carpet things, stairs that I don't even want to
It's
think
like they have
about.
a garbage building, man, a total garbage building. They're the United Nations.
Yeah.
And it looks like, if you were in like a high school auditorium, you'd be like, man, fix your stuff, man. This is crap. This is the United Nations.
Yeah.
developing nuclear weapons, and we delivered on that promise.
Yeah, I have to
We
say,
removed an existential threat to Iran, to Israel.
seems like
rather.
he means what he says when he speaks. He seems like Like, I would take him seriously if he says he's going to do something.
Yeah, not too
Mortal threat to the civilized world. We lifted a dark cloud that could have claimed millions and millions of lives. But, ladies and gentlemen, we must remain vigilant. We must remain absolutely clear-minded and vigilant. We must not allow Iran to rebuild its military nuclear capacities. Iran's stockpiles of enriched uranium, these stockpiles must be eliminated. And tomorrow, UN Security Council sanctions on Iran must be snapped back.
powerful.
Thanks to the resolve of our people, the courage of our soldiers, and the bold decisions we took, Israel rebounded from its darkest day to deliver one of the most stunning military comebacks in history.
Don't call it a comeback.
But we're not done yet. The final elements, the final remnants of Hamas are holed up in Gaza City. They vow to repeat the atrocities of October 7th again and again and again, no matter how diminished their forces. That is why Israel must finish the job. That is why we want to do so as fast as possible.
Powerful.
Ladies and gentlemen, much of the world
The
no
final
longer
countdown.
remembers October 7th. But we remember. Israel remembers October 7th. On that day, well, I'll tell you, you can remember October 7th too. You see this large pin here? It's a QR code. What I ask you to do is hold up your phone, zoom in, and you too will see why we fight and why we must win. It's all in here. On October 7th, Hamas carried out the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust. They slaughtered.
It is really incredible. On October 7th, after October 7, in the aftermath of October 7, in the first weeks and the first months, it was all very fresh, and we talked about it very frequently. We showed some of the footage. In the meantime, more stuff has been shared with the public that people had not seen at that point. Some really, really absolutely horrible stuff. At that point, we were talking about what kind of horrible things were done by Hamas and their fellow Palestinians on that day, and how horrible it is, and how this simply requires that you fight them. It is kind of being forgotten, in a way. I don't know. What do you think, David? Of course, you find this very funny.
No, I glanced over at Valentina Gomez's post.
What's she posting?
She responded to Mehdi Hassan again. Who complained about her? He complained about her, and then she responded.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens.
1,200 innocent people, including over 40 Americans and foreign nationals from dozens of countries represented here. They beheaded men. They raped women. They burnt babies alive. They burnt babies alive in front of their parents. What monsters. And these monsters took more than 250 people hostage. And those included Holocaust survivors, grandmothers and their grandchildren. Who takes hostage grandmothers and grandchildren? Hamas does. So far, we've brought home 207 of these hostages, but 48 still remain in the dungeons of Gaza. 20 of them are alive, starved, tortured, deprived of any daylight, deprived of humanity. These are the names of the 20 living hostages. Matan Angrist, Gali and Zirv Berman, brothers, Elkanah Buchbot, Rom Braslavsky, Nimrod Cohen, Ariel and David Cunyo, another pair of brothers, Guy Gilboa Dalal, Eviatar David, you saw the picture of Eviatar.
Why would the dork be yelling at that? Like, I understand if you just, hey, I don't like Netanyahu, I will yell stuff. I get that. I totally get that. But when he's reading out the names of hostages and you start,
And why is some guy who makes animal noises like that still allowed to be in there for the third time now?
Another pair of brothers, Guy Gilboa Dalal, Eviatar David, you saw the picture of.
What is he even saying? Like, there's not even a message because nobody
yeah,
knows what he's saying.
it sounds like weird, incoherent grunts.
Okay, good point. Thank you.
Eviatar David, emaciated, forced to dig his own grave. Maxim Herkin, Eitan Horn, Segev Kalfon, Bar Cooperstein, Omri Meran, Eitan Moore, Yosef Chaim Ochana, Alon Ohel, Avinatam Or, and Matan Sen-Gaker.
Oh, I know what the guy is yelling. I know what he's shouting.
What?
He's shouting this.
Israel is the Jewish state, the greatest state of all.
Yeah, someone put, Lowell's put, it's chunk yogurt.
Yes, I just saw that.
Hey, who let chunk yogurt into the United Nations, man? Hey, maybe he's the representative of Turkey.
Maybe.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to do something I've never done before. I want to speak from this forum directly to those hostages through loudspeakers. I've surrounded Gaza with massive loudspeakers connected to this microphone in the hope that our dear hostages will hear my message. And I'll say it first in Hebrew and then in English.
Oh,
Achenu hagiburim,
wow.
medaber
You're muted, man.
Said, I've surrounded Gaza with speakers connected to this microphone. Wow.
That's wow. They're broadcasting it all loudly in Gaza through speakers. That's funny.
hostages will hear my message. And I'll say it first in Hebrew and then in English. אחינו הגיבורים, מדבר ראש הממשלה בנימין נתניהו. אני פונה עליכם מעל בימת האו"ם. לא שכחנו אתכם, אפילו לא לשנייה. העם כולו איתכם, ואנחנו לא נשקוט ולא נרפה עד שנחזיר את כולכם הביתה. החיים והחללים כאחד. Our brave heroes.
Hey, I can translate that.
This is Prime Minister Netanyahu speaking to you live from the United Nations. We have not forgotten you, not even for a second. The people of Israel are with you. We will not falter and we will not rest until we bring all of you home.
Damn.
He kind of watered down the translation.
Yeah.
The actual translation is, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my people go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
You know what's funny? You're the first person that I know of who actually memorized the entire thing.
I didn't. I looked at it off the screen. I've never even seen the movie. I just know it's a famous, I know it's a famous clip.
All right. Well, okay.
I should. You shouldn't have brought it up because then everyone would have thought I memorized it. That would have been cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to special efforts by Israeli intelligence, my words are now also being carried. They're streamed live to the cell phones of Gazans. So to the remaining Hamas leaders and to the jailers of our hostages, I now say, lay down your arms.
Pretty
Let
simple.
my people go. Free the hostages. All of them. The whole 48. Free the hostages now.
Because
If you do, you will live. If you don't, Israel will hunt you down. Ladies and gentlemen,
We'll find you.
if Hamas agrees to our demands,
he should have stopped there for a little bit. I feel like that was a good warning. That was a good warning.
the war could end right now. Gaza would be demilitarized. Israel would retain overriding security control, and a peaceful civilian authority would be established by Gazans and others committed to peace with Israel.
Yeah, so
This
why
is-
doesn't it happen? Everyone says that's what needs to happen, and it's like, okay, he said he'll do it. He said he'll do it.
This is the funny thing. When I bring up and say that this could literally end right now, this so-called genocide could literally end right now by Hamas laying down their weapons and surrendering and being demilitarized, and people are like, no, why would they accept that? you know what Israel would do. We know what Israel was doing before this war. Gaza was having a population explosion, not in the way that they were being bombed to bits, but rather that their population was growing massively, as it probably still is. They started this ridiculous war, which they could now call a genocide. They could finish it any second. It is completely their choice. So, from the beginning until now, and also from here on, I want to say personally, for my part, I could not care less about the suffering or whatever is happening over there. It is their choice, their leadership, in agreement with their population. I do not care. They are choosing to do this. They're choosing to be fought. They're choosing to be humiliated, and they're choosing to be killed.
Of course, you understand that the war in Gaza has affected every Israeli. But I'm sure there are people in New York or in London or in Melbourne and elsewhere who are probably thinking, what does all of this have to do with me? And the answer is everything. Because our enemies are your enemies. So let's do something else. So first at the UN, let's do a pop.
Daniel Rhodes says, Ridwan, please don't resort to indifference. I'm not resorting to indifference. I feel very strongly about the safety and the peace and all that. I just don't care about those who choose to go to war and to die.
Quiz. And raise your hand if you know the answer. Here's the first question.
Jude White said, AP, you're disgusting trash. Well, so is your mom. So here we are.
Whoa.
Who shouts death to America? Is it A, Iran,
He
B,
put up a
Hamas,
pop quiz.
C, Hezbollah, D, the Houthis, or E, all of the above?
Well, I know this. I know this one. I think it's E.
It's pretty interesting. He started off by pointing out how he's crushed all of these people, and we're all, no, why would you bomb all these people and blow their testicles off? You mean all these people shouting death to America?
All of the above. Correct.
And people answer.
Second question. Who has murdered Americans and Europeans in cold blood? Is it A, Al-Qaeda, B, Hamas, C, Hezbollah, D, Iran, or E, all of the above?
Look, he didn't add ISIS, because ISIS means Israel Intelligence Service. I'm pretty sure some people have already said that because they're retarded.
Correct.
It'd be funny if he gave everyone like a report card afterward.
Yeah.
Give them a grade.
Okay.
Y'all pass.
So here's the point I wanted to make. Our enemies hate all of us with equal venom. They want to drag the modern world back to the past, to a
Not
dark age
equal.
of violence, fanaticism, and terror.
You know what's funny? He said which of these shout death to America, and then which of these killed Americans and Europeans in cold blood. It's kind of funny because, as it seems here, and I personally have no problem with it at all, but as it seems here, he's just addressing Americans and Europeans at the United Nations. He doesn't even care about the others anymore. So.
He should have been like, he should have been like, who shouts death to America? Iran? And then gone down the list, and then all the people who just walked out of me, all those nations, F all the above.
That'd be nice.
I think many of you are already feeling in your own societies the radical Islamist surge. You know, I'm sure you do. You know deep down that Israel is fighting your fight. So I want to tell you a secret. Behind closed doors, many of the leaders who publicly condemn us privately thank us.
Oh,
They
hey,
tell
pause
me
it.
how much they value Israel's supreme.
Dude, that's actually important. What he just said, I have been there. What he just said. Hey, the people that are like condemning us behind the scenes, some of them are like, wow, we thank you for doing this crap work that no one wants to do.
We have the same experience.
I've heard that for years from various apologists and stuff who, oh yeah, David, oh gosh, David Wood, yeah, he's a little too hard. Thank you, David. Thank you for taking on this stuff. Thank you. I can't support you publicly, man, but just know we're totally on the same page.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it goes even further. I've had Muslims, and of course, I have so far never mentioned their names, but there are Muslims, some even with huge accounts, who publicly condemn us and call us kafir and enemy of Islam, but privately say, "Hey, thank you for doing this, thank you for doing that, thank you for doing this," and all that. So, in the past, I would think that if somebody says something like this, it's just strategy; they're just bluffing. But we have seen that as well, So that is completely believable.
Intelligence services that have prevented time and again terrorist attacks in their capitals, time and again saving countless lives. General George Keegan, former head of U.S. Air Force intelligence, once said, if the United States had to gather on its own the intelligence that Israel gives us, we would have to establish 5 CIAs. 5 CIAs. This past June, when Israel struck Iran's nuclear facilities, German Chancellor Merz admitted the truth. He said, Israel is doing the dirty work for all of us.
Yes, that's what he said.
President Trump understands better than any other leader that Israel and America face a common threat. He showed the world that when Iran and its proxies murder Americans, take Americans hostage, shout death to America, burn American flags, and try to assassinate the President of the United States, not once, but twice. He showed them there is a price to pay for all that.
Isn't it kind of messed up? I kind of feel like the West is in general, even America, is quite different from how Western nations were in the past. I feel like if a nation centuries ago made multiple attempts to assassinate the head of your Western nation, I feel like this Western nation would go over there and crush them. Not just deal some damage to them, but actually crush them. If in the past an Islamic nation attempted to take out the king or the leader of a Western nation, not once but twice, they would pay a very heavy penalty for that. Iran actually tried to do it several times to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump and America still only limited the response to carrying out precision strikes against nuclear facilities. That's it.
No, I mean, think about it. Like, you don't have to go back too far. We were so ticked off after 9/11. We're like, hey, we even think there's one guy hiding in a cave in your country. We are invading the entire country. for one terror. If one terrorist who's responsible for this is hiding in your country, we are invading and taking over your country. That was not too long ago. And with Israel, it's okay. There are thousands and thousands of terrorists on the other side of that fence, and they have a bunch of our hostages. What are we allowed to do? All you're allowed to do is surrender and be exterminated.
That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. Zachary Gelpi said, "You mean Franz Ferdinand? There will be Franz Ferdinand with a Z, but yes, something like that." When that caused, it didn't really cause, but it led to a whole world war. It would be kind of nice if an assassination attempt on Donald Trump would also lead to a whole world war. That would be nice. I'm kind of bored of the whole talking about World War III and all that. Why can't we just do it? I'm tired of this, man. I'm getting really bored.
But regrettably, many leaders who are represented in this hall, they send a very different message. Sure, in the days immediately following October 7th, many of them supported Israel. But that support quickly evaporated when Israel did what any self-respecting nation would do in the wake of such a savage attack. We fought back. Now just imagine, just sit back for a second and imagine an attack against America proportioned to the attack against Israel on October 7th. Imagine a regime, a terror regime, dispatching thousands of terrorists to invade the United States. They massacre 40,000 Americans. They take 10,000 Americans hostage. What do you think America would do? You think America would leave that regime standing?
I do
You
not.
don't think that. No way, not a chance.
We do
The
not.
United States would wipe out that terror regime and ensure that such savagery would never threaten America again. This is precisely what Israel is doing in Gaza. We're wiping out the terror regime of Hamas and ensuring that this savagery will never threaten Israel again. That's what we are doing. That's what any self-respecting government would do. Yet, and it's a yet that I'm sorry to say here. Yet over
That is the funny thing. People were protesting when America first invaded Iraq and then invaded Afghanistan. But it was never this bad, right? It was never as bad as it is with Israel. It's just different. When it's Israel, there's something different about it. Israel is not even waging the worst war that is currently happening. There are worse wars happening right now. Newsflash to all those who think, "Oh no, this is the worst thing ever." There's another war that is going on that is significantly worse than Israel's war right now. There are no major, huge protests. There are no attempts to take down that whole country at this moment. The entire focus is on Israel, which is why those other countries that are waging much more brutal wars can keep waging their wars.
time,
Yeah, hey, yo.
many world leaders
What?
I just want to point it out. So I just looked up one of the other recent wars. The United Nations Human Rights Office estimates over 306,000 civilians have been killed in the conflict in Syria as of March 2021, so years ago. So you're talking 300,000 civilians were killed. Did you see anywhere near this level of hostility towards anyone who's involved in that?
Near this level? No.
None. I don't even know what to say.
They also allowed a massive wave of refugees as a result of that war to go into Europe. For some reason, nobody wants to have Gazan refugees. I don't know why.
Except what is it, France? I think France wants some.
Yeah.
France is like, we'll take them.
Incredible. Incredible.
Leaders buckled. They buckled under the pressure of a biased media, radical Islamist constituencies, and anti-Semitic mobs. There's a familiar saying.
He said radical Islamist. How could you say that?
When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well,
did he say when the goyim get tough?
He said when the goyim get tough, we put them in their place. Say we are the chosen people, not you. What?
When the goyim get tough, that'll be funny.
Hey, oh yeah, it would have a different meaning. When the goyim get tough, the tough get goyim. Right? Dude, we should start that. We should start that line.
I mean, don't give the lunatics.
That's gonna Groiper's gonna steal that, man. I guarantee you, there's like 50 Groipers in the chat right now. They're all ready to be like, "Oh, I'm stealing that."
Tomorrow, Nick Flynn is gonna be like, "When the going get tough, the tough."
Yeah, because that's what Netanyahu. He said right here, when the going get tough, and the tough get going.
Benjamin Netanyahu. He gave the message right there in his UN speech. It was right there. When the going get tough, the tough get going.
there's a familiar saying. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, for many countries here, when the going got tough, you caved.
Ouch.
And here's the shameful result,
dude,
of that collapse.
Dude. When he started off with the line, I was like, come on, man. You're usually like really witty and stuff. Why are you going with some worn out line that we've all heard 10,000 times? And then he flipped it, man. He flipped it.
You caved.
Yeah.
For much of the past 2 years.
For many of the people in this room, when the Goyen got tough, you ran like sniveling little cowards.
Yes.
Israel has had to fight a 7-front war against barbarism with many of your nations opposing us. Astoundingly, as we fight the terrorists who murdered many of your citizens, you are fighting us. You condemn us, you embargo us, and you wage political and legal warfare, it's called lawfare, against us.
That's true, they do that.
I say to the representatives of those nations, this is not an indictment of Israel. It's an indictment of you.
I don't know. It could have been better. I was expecting him to go
against us. I say to the representatives of those nations.
I was expecting him to go. I say to the representatives of those nations, go F yourselves. Could have been better, you know. Okay, this is all right too.
This is not an indictment of Israel. It's an indictment of you. It's an indictment of weak-kneed leaders who appease evil rather than support a nation whose brave soldiers guard you from the barbarians at the gate. They're already penetrating your gates.
Not like the Al Zut penetrated Muhammad's gate.
When will you learn? You can't appease your way out of jihad. And you won't escape the Islamist storm by sacrificing Israel.
Dang, now you're talking, buddy.
Now you're talking. Robert Spencer will love this, man.
When will you learn? You can't appease your way out of jihad, and you won't escape the Islamist storm by sacrificing Israel. To overcome that storm, you have to stand with Israel. But that's not what you're doing. As the prophets of Israel for...
You know what I absolutely love? I don't even care how many people are against this right now. It's funny because it has become really, 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 really unpopular to be on the side of Israel in all of this. And I see people in the chat, like some people in the chat are like, oh, can't believe you support this. Everybody else says the truth. This is the devil. I'm sorry, especially right now, especially more so even than a year ago or two, I feel very supportive of Israel. Simply, and this whole thing that is going on, this whole trend that is going on of the increasing hate and the opposition to Israel as a result of this war simply makes me want to support Israel even more. And this is not a reaction. It's not a reaction because I feel like, oh, these people are hating it, and I like to react to that with the opposite of what people say. No, it's because I see that Israel is doing the right thing from the beginning. From the very beginning, they're fighting back. They're playing the Middle Eastern way, actually. Israel is playing the Middle Eastern way. Israel is actually being tough in response to the terrorists who want everybody else to simply bow down and cave to them. The Islamists want everyone to bow down and cave to them. They want to treat Israel the way they treat British people. Of course, British people kind of take it nowadays. Muslims can come to the United Kingdom and can talk all kinds of trash about the king or the queen and about the British flag, and can rape your children, and they can be protected. But when you speak against them, you go to jail, and you get fined for being offensive, for being racist, for being Islamophobic. They are playing that game, and they want to play that game with Israel too. They want to attack Israel. They want to rape. They want to kill. They want to burn things down, and they do not want to be fought against as a result. When they are fought against, which Israel does, which Europeans do not do, they start crying. And the Western world has become so blinded that they like to simply believe them when they are crying. Israel doesn't believe them. Israel knows their language and plays their game against them and crushes them at their own game. Israel defeats them and crushes them at their own game, and I love every second of it. I love every second of it, and I support Israel in this even more. And I love that he comes here to the General Assembly of the United Nations. He comes here and he shows no sign at all of weakness, no sign at all of regret, no sign at all of caving in, and says, we are doing what needs to be done, and you are either with us or not. Your people are stupid. I love it.
And people don't realize, because people hear the, we're fighting your enemies for you. And they're thinking, okay, Iran's a long way away. What are they actually doing? It's true in a much bigger sense than that. Namely, you had the collapse of the caliphate. Islam had a caliphate for centuries. And then the caliphate, the Ottoman Empire, lost World War I. And then the caliphate collapsed. Guess what? They really, really wanted their caliphate back, but the land was broken up. A tiny little piece of that was given to Jews to control. Tiny little piece. And the obsession since then has been, if we're going to have a restored caliphate, we kind of have to deal with Israel first, because we have no business thinking we're going to have this caliphate taking over the world if we can't deal with this one little country. It's become an obsession. It doesn't matter what we have to do. It doesn't matter if we have to sacrifice our entire population to get these guys. We absolutely have to get them, and then we'll know that Allah's on our side, and we can get our caliphate back, and we can go ahead and conquer the world. And AP, you've got the clips. I mean, there's the clip of the Hamas guy saying that. Here's what we have to do. First, we have to defeat these guys. Then, boom, reestablish the caliphate. Guess what? That would happen. That would 100% happen. If these guys all somehow managed to defeat Israel, you are, within months, going to get the reestablishment of the Islamic caliphate.
Yes.
And the only difference is, Muslims have to obey their caliph. The only difference between previous caliphates and this caliphate is now you have millions and millions of Muslims who would be religiously obligated to obey the orders of the caliph living in Western nations. We already saw it. I mean, ISIS tried to restore it. Most Muslims didn't even believe him, right? You're not the guys, man. You're not the guys. You're not the real caliphate. But you still had, when ISIS would say, go out and kill a bunch of people, you'd have a bunch of people obeying. That's like a little fake caliphate that people didn't believe in. A real genuine caliphate calling for a war against the world, you're talking about epic bloodbath on a global scale. And the one thing that's preventing that from happening is they're focused on Israel and taking out Israel as the stepping stone.
Yes. Athena Gate, this is just fear mongering, you said, and you also said Muslims are not even united like that. Here is the thing. Yes, Muslims are not united like that, just like Christians are not. Yes, Muslims are currently not united like that. That's the problem. Muslims want to change that.
Mm-hmm.
Hamas wants to change that.
Yep.
It has been part of their mission, of their stated mission, which they have repeatedly said again and again and again, that if they can defeat Israel and can take Jerusalem, it would be the beginning, the re-establishment of the caliphate. That is the perspective of Hamas. That is what they said to their own people again and again and again. And it's not very far-fetched. And I wouldn't want to leave it up to chance, you know. I wouldn't want to, you know, let it come down to it and be like, yeah, it's not going to happen anyway, whatever. No, they openly say that that is their goal, that they want to take Jerusalem and want to from there re-establish the caliphate. If that is their plan, and the plan thereby entails establishing the caliphate from Jerusalem as a sign for all Muslims and gathering the Muslim nations together and once again starting the conquests, if they state that that is their goal, I don't care if it's actually going to happen or not. I would rather want them dead.
And guys, I don't know if you realize how big having a caliphate is in Islam and how traumatic it is for them not to have a caliphate. And yet you have tons of division right now. Look at when they get united. Look at what unites the Ummah. Look on campuses. Look at the protests. What unites them is wiping out these guys. If they actually succeeded at any point, they would be so thrilled and excited. Yeah, you're not going to have every Muslim on board. Guess what? You never had any Muslim on board. You still had a caliphate. Don't know what it would take for you. Like, AP, they seriously don't get how much these guys want a caliphate. Guys, Islam is supposed to conquer the entire world until all religion is for Allah. They cannot do that without the caliph and the caliphate. Yes. So they view themselves as dramatic failures until they can do that. You don't think they're going to come out? You don't think they're going to come up with a way of getting it done?
Yes. Yes. Alhamdulillah.
Told in the Bible, you've turned good into evil and evil, and you won't escape the Islamist storm by sacrificing Israel. To overcome that storm, you have to stand with Israel. But that's not what you're doing. As the prophets of Israel foretold in the Bible, you've turned good into evil and evil into good. Now I want to drill down on this. Take a false charge of genocide. Israel is accused of deliberately targeting civilians. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposite is true. The head of urban warfare studies, Colonel John Spencer, he's perhaps the world's greatest expert on urban warfare. And he says, Israel is applying more measures to minimize civilian casualties than any military in history.
That's a real quote. A real quote.
And because we're doing that, the ratio of non-combatant to combatant casualties is less than 2-to-1 in Gaza. That's an astoundingly low ratio, lower than NATO's wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, especially when you consider that Gaza is one of the most densely populated urban areas on Earth. It has hundreds of miles of terror tunnels underground, and it has countless terror towers above ground, and thousands of terrorists embedded in the tunnels and in these towers in civilian areas. If you want to see what measures Israel takes to avoid civilian casualties in this war, just look at what we're doing now in Gaza City, the last Hamas stronghold, one of the two last strongholds. For 3 weeks, Israel dropped millions of leaflets, sent millions of text messages,
Millions of leaflets. Those leaflets are generally this area will be struck, evacuate this, take these safe zones, take these passages to these following safe zones to avoid being harmed in fights and strikes. Now, there are some people who come out and complain and say, but we have seen what happens, and they also die in those passages, in those safe passages, and in those safe zones. Yes, something might happen in the safe zones as well. Something might happen in those passageways as well. But the one thing that you should know is that the evacuation zone is where you will be definitely in danger. If you go anywhere else, you are not in the middle of the battle zone. You are not a target. If you go somewhere else, there's a significantly lower chance for you to be harmed and to die. That is the entire point. And Israel is actually actively doing that every single time that they start a new front inside Gaza. If they wanted to be genociding the entire population, they wouldn't be doing that. That costs a lot of money, and a lot of time.
And made countless phone calls urging civilians to leave Gaza City before our military moves in. At the same time, Hamas implants itself in mosques, schools, hospitals, apartment buildings, and tries to force those civilians not to leave, to stay in harm's way. And it often threatens them at gunpoint if they try to do so. For Israel, every civilian casualty is a tragedy. For Hamas, it's a strategy. Hamas uses civilians as human shields and as props in its sick propaganda war in Israel, against Israel, a propaganda war that the Western media buys, hook, line, and...
Think about this for a second here. Think about what he just said. Visualize it. Come with me here and visualize it. Everybody knows by now that Hamas uses civilian facilities to fight against Israel. Every single organization, every single humanitarian organization, even the United Nations, everybody admits this, everybody knows it. Nobody can possibly deny that at this point. Hamas also very clearly tells people not to listen to Israel's evacuation orders. So Hamas orders its own population to stay wherever they are and not at all listen to Israel's evacuation orders, not to leave their residences and all that. Now you have in your civilian building Hamas embedded, and they're fighting right there in your civilian building. You, however, want to take care of your family and want to pack your stuff, whatever you need for the next few days, and want to take your family to an evacuation zone. So you're on your way of leaving the building. The thing is, in your building, there are Hamas terrorists, Hamas fighters. Those Hamas fighters see you on your way out. How do you think this is going to go? This is why most of the people do not leave their civilian buildings. That's how things go in Gaza. And then they die. And then Israel is blamed.
Sinker. Now, despite Hamas's threats, close to 700,000 Gazans, almost 750,000, have already heeded our calls and moved to safe zones. Now I want to ask you a simple question, a simple, logical question. Would a country committing genocide plead with the civilian population it is supposedly targeting to get out of harm's way? Would we tell them, get out, if we want to commit genocide? We're trying to get them out. And Hamas is trying to keep them in. And this charge is so baseless. The comparison to genocide, wholesale slaughter of populations. What, did the Nazis ask the Jews to leave, kindly leave, go out? Did others, you want me to name all the genocidal leaders of history? Just go one by one. Did anyone do this? Did they say, get out so we can come in? Of course not.
You know what's funny? You can see it. You can see it in his demeanor that he is really sick of this, and he actually means it right now. Look at it. Just look at it again.
Commit genocide? Plead with the civilian population it is supposedly targeting to get out of harm's way. Would we tell them, get out, if we want to commit genocide? We're trying to get them out. And Hamas is trying to keep them in. And this charge is so baseless. The comparison to genocide, wholesale slaughter of populations. What, did the Nazis ask the Jews to leave, kindly leave, go out? Did others, you want me to name all the genocidal leaders of history?
Yes.
Just go one by one. Did anyone do this? Did they say, get out so we can come in? Of course not.
You see how he's really sick of it, right? Man.
So the truth has been turned on its head. Hamas, a genocidal terrorist organization whose charter calls for the murder of all Jews on the planet.
Fact. Fact. You know this is a fact, right? We know this is a fact.
Yeah, and I've mentioned it before. Like, seriously. You have it right there in the charter, that they are working towards a day when they will carry out what Muhammad said in the Hadith and completely wipe out Jews. The only Jews who will be safe are the ones hiding behind the Garkid tree, because Garkid ain't no snitch, right? But then in the very next article, it lists death for the sake of Allah as their highest goal for themselves. And it's like, wait, we want our enemies dead? Our main goal is our enemies dead and ourselves dead.
Yeah.
We want our enemies dead and we want ourselves dead. Dead.
Everybody dead.
That is a death cult. We want everyone dead. We want all the people that Allah doesn't like, we want them dead. And then all the people Allah does like, we want them dead too. Dead.
We want everybody dead. We don't like nobody. We don't want everybody dead.
And you got people thinking, these are the good guys.
So here is the Hamas Covenant. You can easily find it online. Hamas Charter, Hamas Covenant, 1988. The Covenant of the Islamic Resistance Movement. Islamic Resistance Movement is the translation of what Hamas is. Haraka al-Muqawwama al-Islamiyya, which is shortened as Hamas. In the name of the most merciful Allah, very merciful indeed. Article 7 says right here that their goal is the Prophet, Allah bless him and grant him salvation, has said the day of judgment will not come about until Muslims fight the Jews and kill the Jews, when the Jew will hide behind stones and trees, and the stones and trees will say, "Oh Muslim, oh Abdullah, servant of Allah, there's a Jew behind me, come and kill him." Only the gargage tree, evidently a certain kind of tree,
Really?
would not do that, because it is one of the trees of the Jews.
The gargid tree, evidently a certain kind of tree.
So,
I mean, this is like an Aruban sandwich, evidently a kind of sandwich. It's like, okay. Yeah, it's in the name.
which, by the way, is some kind of tree, by the way.
And the bedroom, evidently some kind of room.
So it is directly in their charter that they want the eradication of the Jews.
Next one, man. Next one.
And then Article 8, the slogan of the Islamic Resistance Movement: Allah is its target.
See, they even want Allah dead.
The Quran, its constitution.
They're targeting
Jihad
Allah.
is its path, and death for the sake of Allah is the loftiest of its wishes.
Death for the sake of Allah is the loftiest of its wishes.
So what Hamas wants is they want all the disbelievers subjugated, they want all the Jews eradicated, and they want to die as well. Seems like a very good plan.
What? Why would Israel want to take out these guys? We don't get it.
They want to die, and when they're killed, they're like, "Oh, why is this happening? World, please help!"
Yeah, to manipulate stupid people.
Yeah.
This genocidal organization is given a pass. It's barely mentioned. While Israel, which does everything it can to get civilians out of harm's way, Israel is put in the dock. What a joke. You want to hear another one? Israel is accused of deliberately starving the people of Gaza.
He actually said, "Do you want to hear another one?"
You want to hear another one? Huh? Come on. Where's the laugh track, everyone? Laugh track. Where's it at? Come on. I'm rolling. I'm gonna have you rolling up here with all these jokes.
When Israel is deliberately feeding the people of Gaza.
AP.
Since the beginning of the war.
Well, you should take the clips where he's giving jokes, and you could include the beeper one, but add a laugh track to those clips and post it. I bet. Like if he said, "What a joke. Want to hear another one? And then just laughter in the background. I'm
Yeah,
telling
we
you.
have quite some people watching here who like to make clips. So somebody please make it. Somebody please do it.
Take all the joke clips and add laugh tracks.
Take the jokes that Benjamin Netanyahu told during this UN speech and add laugh tracks to them. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Israel has let into Gaza more than 2 million tons of food and aid.
2 million.
That's 1 ton of aid for every man, woman, and child in Gaza. Nearly 3,000 calories per person per day. Some starvation policy. If there are Gazans who don't have enough food, it's because Hamas is stealing it.
He said some
Hamas
starvation
steals it,
policy.
hoards it, and sells it at exorbitant prices to fight its war machine. Last month, even the UN, not exactly a supporter of Israel. You're supposed to laugh, by the way. Last month,
Not the biggest fan of the Jews. And the UN, not the biggest fan of the Jews.
admitted that Hamas and other armed groups looted 85% of the trucks. That's why you have deprivation. Those who peddled the blood libels of genocide and starvation against Israel are no better than those who peddled blood libels against the Jews in the Middle Ages when they falsely accused us of poisoning wells, spreading plague, and using the blood of children to bake Passover matzahs.
Hey, you know what would be awesome right now? This would be legend status. And speaking of Candace Owens, that would, I mean, come on, dude. Come on.
You know, the funny thing is, when I first found out about where the blood libels actually come from, I thought, wow, man, people were really ridiculous back then. And then we come to this time, and then I see actual, real people in our time repeat those very blood libels that are very evidently complete nonsense. That Jews were actually walking around in the Middle Ages and kidnapping children and using their blood to bake Passover matzahs.
Well, they're Frankists. What do you expect them to do, AP?
Anti-Semitism dies hard. In fact, it doesn't die at all. It just keeps coming back with its libelous lies, refurbished, regurgitated over and over again. And I want to tell you something else. These anti-Semitic lies, they have consequences. In recent months, Jews have been assaulted in
Somebody blew their nose there. I heard it. And that gives me the hint that I need to read some super chats. Praise Yah says, so Allah in his eternal word asks Christians and Jews to stand upon and judge by a book they don't have. Has Fontaines been zootified or raptured?
That's apparently their new favorite argument. And by golly, I hope they run with that for a while. I would just love for it to become popular to argue that Allah is indeed affirming the inspiration, preservation, and authority of these scriptures. Even if you want to just make up a phantom document, it is good not to be reinterpreting Allah on that.
As I was listening to that debate, as I was listening to him answering your questions and you answering his questions, and I thought about how painful it was, I thought, you know, right now it's like the last thing that I want to do is to engage in debates with Muslims, especially with that kind of thinking, because their thinking is just so incredibly behind. And
not in a zoot sense.
Yeah. Which also makes sense because for all those who don't know, I was supposed to have a debate with Dee's response as a follow-up to our first debate, which was about whether Islam is true or not. And I felt very exhausted by that debate already. But I was supposed to have that debate soon, and I just messaged James the other day and said, hey, you know what? I want to indefinitely cancel that debate and get back to it at some other time because I really don't want to do that kind of stuff right now. I really don't care about Muslims and debates right now.
Right.
And he was like, okay, yeah, fine, let's do that.
Oh,
so that's what I did.
I'm sure. Wait, who'd you say it was? It was Dee's?
Dee's response, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Dee's is he's running from me. But I'll say, one, you got to do the debate eventually. Yeah. But yeah, perfectly reasonable. I mean, especially right after Charlie Kirk gets killed, and you see, I don't know what Dees said, but you just
And Dees was actually he was gleeing over Charlie Kirk being killed.
Oh yeah. Completely reasonable to say, you know what? I just don't want to deal with you guys right now. I don't want to deal with you guys. Perfectly
Here's the thing.
reasonable.
I wanted to go into that second debate, which was supposed to be about Jesus, in a significantly better way, right? But with that,
This would not be a good time for that, man.
with that, I really don't want to go into that debate. I really, really do not want to go into that debate. And I think it will be better for everyone involved, including the debaters and the viewers and the moderators, that we don't do that debate right now.
Yeah, you need to need to wait a bit. I'd say probably sometime
and
second quarter next year, maybe.
Yeah. So I did see him say, "Oh, a apostate prophet canceled debate. He's running." In all honesty, I do not care what he says. I don't care what the Muslims say right now. I don't care if they declare victory. I don't care if they say this shows that Islam is true. I do not care at all about debates right now. So, especially not with such people. That's that. Reziel Whimsical Skedaddler. The amount of Muslim bots in the comment section for Dawood's debate with John all saying identical things is insane and funny.
Oh yeah, I heard. So they went live afterwards, and apparently they were saying, "Yes, flood the comment section, flood it." But it was like, it was multiple accounts like saying the exact same thing over and over and over again. They've noticed that in their recent debates, the comment section is just you Muslims lost, and so they're trying to fix that. We'll see if it actually works. I'm totally fine if they can actually pull it off, because I would love it if they're like, "Oh, this must be a really good debate because we're cheering, so let's go ahead and spread this around." Oh my goodness, these are awesome times.
Fantastic. Drew Traver, how can we be more effective and organized than Muslims and leftists in affecting politics, laws, persecuted Christians, and minorities from Islam around the world and local? I don't have any advice for you.
Well, there is some organization going on behind the scenes, but it's bad. But the bright side is that jihadis are going to keep pushing, and more people are going to get sick of it, and more people are going to catch on.
The bright side of life. Lefty Dawa Troll. I'd get out and walk out too, so I can cry looking for the Al Zut gathering. Oh, hi guys. Rebecca, what's up, Rebecca? How you doing? Rebecca said Israel. Jingoistic Pig says Groypers believe Nick Fuentes is the son of Allah. Shake Sponge, I saw a news headline that said Benjamin Netanyahu is shook by a large walkout, but he seemed fine the whole time.
Did he seem shook right here?
He seemed like shook one.
Benjamin Netanyahu trembling after large walkout.
Shook ones. The Samurai Hobbit. Is Taz the ambassador from Australia? Yes, he is.
Oh, I think that's about the in the background.
Yes. How come Candace can say Israel, but says Israel? Israeli, but says Israel. But she says Israeli? I don't know. I haven't heard that. All I know is that she just says Israel. Israel.
Okay. And my sources say, okay.
James K. Guy, David Wood plus AP Dwop. Maybe the 50s doo-wop song intro. Yeah, let's do that. Satiric Talk. Do you know why it's even funny? Is because both BB and Trump just came in there and listed off all the things I've achieved while all the other people have done nothing, while they have been shown to be incompetent terrorists. Powerful. I agree with that. That was the sentiment. Hi, Bars Barbecue. He needs some medicine. Love you guys. He does. Ashman, he slipped and said Nasser. Who's he about to? I know he was having difficulty saying Hassan Nasrallah. Then again, he's been dead for a while, so it's hard to remember his name. Andrew Stubblefield. I click on David and AP's live stream and immediately hear something along the lines of Al Zut. I'll zut you down to the annals. Rick Newton, Al-Zut were the first proctologists and tunnel builders. Momo was the first to say fire in the hole. Hindsight 2020, no Iron Dome for Momo. Ida Rogozin, I think I already know you so well, guys, that I'm laughing even before you say anything or laugh about some stuff sounding like the other stuff. I know that's how it works. We're glad to have you here. Not David, but I'm glad. Praise Yah said, God bless you both. David, I have a friend who isn't capable of feeling empathy and struggles to function socially. How can I help and also share the gospel with her? Not in a way the Al-Zut shared Mo.
With her. Okay, so it's a woman.
We don't know that.
I've said it before. Get a copy of Greg Kokel's Tactics. It's about just asking questions, not in the Candace Owens sense, but very, very helpful in those kinds of situations, as far as asking what the person believes and figuring out the person's reasons for believing and getting them to think about various things.
That's it. That's all the advice you have.
Well, I know very little about the situation, but I know that would definitely help.
Powerful. Drew Traver, all the empty seats are the ones that should be removed from the United Nations. I wonder if enough people were proactive, we could get it done. Probably. James K. Guy, Dwap, check out the powerful short video clip titled Apostle Paul's Life Was a Warning. Do you see it? By Lake Point Church. What's Lake Point Church?
It's a short video clip, man. Post it. Play it.
I don't want to play it.
It might be super cool.
I don't want to play it. I want to check it out first before I play it.
It says Dwap.
The heretic purger became a member. Welcome to the cult. Eunuch Petsu, Ezekiel 25:17. I shall lay my vengeance upon them. Alhamdulillah. Eugene Haynes says, he's breaking it down Barney style for the smooth brains. That is true. Ashmaid's unanswer BB's quiz Tucker proof he controls the world. This is true. Jack Ray, thank you for taking on this stuff. Thank you. Zachary, you mean Franz Ferdinand. MT says, can you guys cover Sami Hamdi celebrating Tucker, Candace et al. Helping to usher in Islam in America? Who's Sami Hamdi? And his words for justice digital jihad tool. I'll make a note. David Anderson, I stand with you guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Very, very much appreciated. Mosh, what's up, Mosh? I'm surprised that he didn't even mention one word on Nigeria, Sudan, Yemen, Syria, and so on. It's actually scary that it's not even covered. Yep. Fox McCloud analysis: cost of the war-torn Muslim majority Balkan nation of 1.5 million people has witnessed a growing trend of Muslim converting to Catholicism. That's what I heard too. Sankey, since October 7, 20 countries recognize Palestine, mostly European ones. How did this continent become so pathetic? Well, they also let off the rapists of their own daughters. What do you expect? Mark H. David, according to the comments, you got baked. David, did you get baked? Did you smoke weed? Hey, you look like Mike Winger right now. He doesn't hear me. Doesn't he look exactly like Mike Winger? He looks exactly like Mike Winger. Take a screenshot of that. This is like the Mike Winger look. Mike Winger, I'm taking a screenshot of that right now. All right. Got it. When Al-Zut gets going, Momo gets furry pride. David Uncle, is it actually true that assassins worked for Iran? Yes, it is. Ida, AP, if we were fighting the Middle Eastern way or speaking their language, the war would be over in 1 week or maybe less. We still have the values in the way of love more than hate. That is true. But responding to strength or to power with power, that is the Middle Eastern way. Joel 3:2. Rick Newton, which of the Al-Zut was Momo's caliphate? And unfortunately, it takes a lot of lives of our brave soldiers, said Ida. This is true, unfortunately. Iga.
Hey.
What?
That video was, in fact, super awesome.
Nice.
It's said about the Apostle Paul. It's actually It's about what happened with Charlie Kirk, but super dope.
Based. Base it. You know what's more based?
What?
So, look at this. Who does this look like?
Me? Looks just like me.
Come on, man.
What?
Everybody sees it.
Oh, come on. Bunch of dorks, man.
Like there, you look exactly like Mike Winner.
No, I don't. Guys, what's the goal of a counterfeiter? The goal of a counterfeiter is to make something that looks like the original. And the more it looks like the authentic thing, the more deceptive it is. And therefore, if Mike Winger is trying to look more like me, the more he pulls it off, the more deceptive he will be.
So what you're saying is that you admit that you look like Mike Winner.
No, just if you're commenting, then he's obviously deceiving you, gullible morons, into thinking that we look alike.
The the heretic purger says no one is talking about the civil war in the Union of Myanmar that has been going on for more than 80 years. Christ's people are being killed and raped, I guess, and the churches are being burned. The Kachin people stand with Israel. Powerful. Derek Golf, the IDF is just doing it to Hamas what the jinn of the Al-Zut did to Muhammad. We don't know if those were jinn. Those might have been just regular men, the Al-Zut. We don't know what they were. Finally, Elon says everybody talks about Hamas, but the West Bank is the next Gaza. Even before 10/7 in 2022, there were 500 Molotovs, 3,000 rocket attacks, deadly went on cars, and 70 shootings, stabbings against Jews. This is true. What many people don't realize is that the West Bank is much more radical than Gaza or Judea and Samaria. The population over there is significantly is much more radical than the population in Gaza. In terms of, you can see that when you look at polls, for example. When you look at polls,
not in the Zut sense.
Yeah. When you look at the polls, you will consistently see that the people in the West Bank, are much more radical and supportive of Hamas than the Gazans are. The Gazans. Trying to find something from the Gazans. Gazans. I can't find those polls right now, but whatever, you'll see that. I shared some of that stuff a while ago. Cult Wraith, somebody mentioned Leo Zagami a while back. As much as he's into conspiracy stuff, he's pretty pro-Israel. He did talk about the Sabbatean Frankists, but doesn't consider them Jewish. Well, they were a cult, so, you have cults in every community. Anyway, let's continue.
Canada, Austria, or rather Australia, Britain, France, the Netherlands, and elsewhere.
What's he counting?
And I want to tell you something else. These anti-Semitic lies, they have consequences. In recent months, Jews have been assaulted in Canada, Austria, or rather Australia, Britain, France, the Netherlands, and elsewhere. Here in America, an elderly...
He did say Netherlands, didn't he?
Or rather Australia, Britain, France, the Netherlands, and elsewhere.
Nether nerds. Nether nerds. These nether nerds.
The nether nerds. The lower nerds.
It is funny that Netherlands would sounds like something bad.
Yeah. The nether nerds.
Yeah. When Al-Zut showed up, they said, Muhammad, we want to invade your Netherlands.
Oh man, it is funny. The whole place is called the Netherlands, just the lowlands,
or the Niederlande.
Niederlande. Smile to Jahannam. Good to see you here. I met Smile to Jahannam in Poland. It was pretty based.
Is he Polish?
Here in America,
Yes.
an elderly Holocaust survivor
Poor guy.
was burned to death in Colorado. And a beautiful young couple from the Israeli embassy in Washington was brutally gunned down right in front of the Holocaust Museum there. Thankfully, President Trump's administration is forcefully fighting the scourge of anti-Semitism, and every government here should follow its lead. But instead, many do the opposite. They actually reward the worst anti-Semites on earth. This week, the leaders of France, Britain, Australia, Canada, and other countries unconditionally recognized a Palestinian state. They did so after the horrors committed by Hamas on October 7th. Horrors praised on that day by nearly 90% of the Palestinian population. Let me say that again. Nearly 90% of Palestinians supported the attack on October 7th. It's not supported them, they celebrated. They danced on the rooftops. They threw candies. That's both in Gaza and in Judea, Samaria, the West Bank, as you call it. And it's just the way they celebrated another horror, 9/11. They danced on the rooftops.
Yes. Look up the dancing Palestinians on 9/11. Look up the dancing Palestinians on 9/11. Dancing Palestinians. The dancing Palestinians.
I think you mean dancing
Very
Jews.
atmosphere. The V
I think we should make that a thing. We should make that a slogan. Look up or Google the dancing
We should start saying
Palestinians.
Google the dancing Palestinians.
Google the dancing Palestinians on 9/11.
sign for victory being displayed in East Jerusalem today among jubilant Palestinians that the United States had been subject to this attack. What are we to make of that, Jennifer? Are we to, Yasser Arafat may issue this condemnation. Look at this. We're seeing people applauding, clapping, smiling, happy to know that thousands of Americans have died in this sneak attack. And there you see a V for victory sign held up to the camera. What are we to make of that? And what are we to make of what about what Yasser Arafat said today?
I find it so funny how Western news is like. What are we to make of that? How can we explain this? What exactly? How can we explain that they are celebrating, the killing of our people? What exactly do we make of that? This is not how the media would sound in non-Western countries in response to this.
And we have to wonder, why are so many Palestinians celebrating what Israel did, according to Candace Owens?
Yeah. Yep.
This conflict in this Middle Eastern conflict. However, while some Palestinians were taking to the streets in apparent celebration, one youth was quoted as saying, as he received sweets handed around in celebration, "This is a sweet from Osama bin Laden," he said. Back to you.
Well, that's cute.
Yeah, that's adorable.
So beautiful.
They cheered, they threw candy. You know what message the leaders who recognize the Palestinian state this week sent to the Palestinians? It's a very clear message. Murdering Jews pays off. Well, I have a message for these leaders. When the most savage terrorists on earth are effusively praising your decision, you didn't do something right. You did something wrong, horribly wrong. Your disgraceful decision will encourage terrorism against Jews and against innocent people everywhere. It will be a mark of shame on all of you. But wait a minute, Mr. Prime Minister, they tell me. Wait a minute. We believe in a two-state solution where the Jewish state of Israel will live side by side.
That is not what Hamas wants, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what would happen if today Israel was convinced by the West to go for a two-state solution, and they actually proceeded with a two-state solution, and the so-called Palestinians took over and created their state. along this two-state solution, very soon what would happen is that those Palestinians under Palestine would once again attack and murder a bunch of Israelis. As a result of which, Israel would then say, okay, we're done with this stupid solution. We are going in again. As a result of which, the Western media would say, or the Western nations would say, no, no, no. What we really need is a two-state solution. To hell with your two-state solution.
Hey, I have to point out, it is
There's only one problem
with that. It is a serious problem that lots of the people like on college campuses and stuff who are screaming free Palestine, they think they're screaming for like a free Gaza and like a second, like a two-state solution. That's not what the free Palestine slogan means. That from the river to the sea, Palestine will be. They're talking about wiping Israel off the map. That's the goal. And you have all these people thinking they're cheering for something else, and they have no freaking clue what they're cheering for.
All right. Okay.
Solution where the Jewish state of Israel will live side by side in peace with the Palestinian state. There's only one problem with that. The Palestinians, they don't believe in this solution. They never have. They don't want a state next to Israel. They want a Palestinian state instead of Israel. And that's why every time they were offered a Palestinian state, but were required to end the conflict with Israel and recognize the Jewish state, every time, over the decades, they turned it down. And that is why every time they were given territory, they used it to attack us. In fact, they effectively had a Palestinian state in Gaza. So what did they do with that state? Peace? Coexistence? No. They attacked us time and time again. Totally unprovoked. They fired rockets into our cities. They murdered our children. They turned Gaza into a terror base from which they committed the October 7th massacre. So here's the uncomfortable truth. The
I want to share, it's kind of funny they show the empty shares of the so-called state of Palestine. Here are some facts. This is according to Hamas's later new charter, which has never replaced their original charter, but which is used as a propaganda tool. Hamas believes that no part of the land of Palestine shall be compromised or conceded, irrespective of the causes, the circumstances, and the pressures, and no matter how long the occupation lasts. Hamas rejects any alternative to the full and complete liberation of Palestine from the river to the sea. However, without compromising its rejection of the Zionist entity and without relinquishing any Palestinian rights, Hamas considers the establishment of a fully sovereign and independent Palestinian state with Jerusalem as its capital along the lines of the 4th of June 1967. Look how ridiculous this is. What Hamas is actually saying here is we will never, ever, under any circumstances, give up our goal to take all of this land. However, we can temporarily accept the two-state solution.
We'll accept this stepping stone to what we really want.
If you were Israel, would you be like, okay, yeah, at least they want a temporary two-state solution? Or would you think, no? If you would give the first answer, you're probably an idiot. The second thing that I want to share is the following, which is a poll. So this is a poll which shows the following.
Like Smiles to Jehanam?
Yes. It says, if the Palestinian, so this is a survey for Palestinians. It says, if the Palestinian leadership is able to negotiate a two-state solution with Israel, do you think that this should be the end of the conflict or that resistance should continue until all of historic Palestine is liberated? Look what the respondents say. This is the West Bank. West Bank. Or you can see here that the majority, usually say resistance should continue until all of historic Palestine is liberated. So even if you have a two-state solution at some point, the majority of the people there think that they should still continue until they have all of the land and Israel no longer exists. Why would anybody in their right mind want to make peace with these guys? And here's actually an example of what I said earlier. Gazans are a little bit less likely to say we should take all of the land, but still they are also on of the same opinion. So the people in the West Bank, so this here is Gaza, this here is West Bank. The people in the West Bank are generally more radical than the people in Gaza. But they generally agree that a two-state solution is not enough. A two-state solution to them would only be a beginning, a stepping stone. The ideal ultimate goal is to take all of Israel and annihilate Israel and make it all their own, which is never going to happen, which is why I support Israel completely in what they're doing.
إسرائيل دولة لا مقام لها على أرضنا. إحنا الدولة لابد أن نزيلها لأنه بالفعل هي تعتبر كارثة أمنية وعسكرية وسياسية للأمة العربية والإسلامية، يجب أن تنتهي. لذلك احنا لا نخجل من نقول ذلك بكل قوة، إنه إسرائيل لازم نأدبها وحنأدبها مرة ثانية وثالثة، ومش هذا حتكون طوفان الأقصى أول مرة، لا حتكون ثانية وثالثة ورابعة، لأنه احنا لدينا إصرار ولدينا قرار ولدينا إمكانيات أن نقاتل نعم. ونحارب، لكن كما قلت لك بدنا ندفع ثمن. نعم احنا مستعدين، معلش بدي أقول لك بشكل واضح، احنا اسمنا شعب الشهداء.
So they want to do it again and again and again until Israel no longer exists. Good luck with that. Hope you're enjoying what you're getting right now.
Palestinian rejection of a Jewish state in any boundary is what has driven this conflict for over a century. It is still driving it. It's not the absence of a Palestinian state. It's the presence and existence of a Jewish state. And I find it amazing, amazing, that the foreign chancelleries and the ministries and all those who pontificate about this, and the leaders, how can they not see this basic truth when it is repeated again and
he said Nazi.
Again and again ad nauseum? And I want to say something else. This rejection of a Jewish state not only applies to Hamas, it also applies to the so-called moderate Palestinian Authority. You should know that the Palestinian authorities pays terrorists to slay Jews. The more Jews the terrorists slay, the more the Palestinian Authority pays. The Palestinian Authority names its government buildings, its public squares, its schools, after the mass murderers of Jews, which they glorify as martyrs. They pay and glorify not just the killer of Jews, but also killers of Christians. Christians like Taylor Force, an American veteran who was brutally murdered in Israel by Palestinian terrorists. But, that I hear from the Western leaders. They tell me,
not in the Al-Zut sense.
The PA promised us.
And the Al-Zut showed up and they said, but, Mohammed said, here it is.
It will reform. And I know this time, Prime Minister, it will be different. Yeah, right. We've heard these promises for decades. They always promise. They never deliver. Because you see, the Palestinian Authority is corrupt to the core. They haven't held elections in 20 years. They use the same textbooks as Hamas, exactly the same textbooks. They teach their children to hate Jews and destroy the Jewish state. And Christians don't fare much better. When Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus, was under Israeli control, 80% of its residents were Christians. But since the PA took control, that number has dwindled to under 20%.
Let's hear that again.
Jewish state. And Christians don't fare much better. When Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus, was under Israeli control, 80% 80% of its residents were Christians. But since the PA took control, that number has dwindled to under 20%. These are the people you want to give a state to?
Let's hear that again.
Much better. When Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus, was under Israeli control, 80% of its residents were Christians. But since the PA took control, that number has dwindled to under 20%.
Let's hear that again.
And Christians don't fare much better. When Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus, was under Israeli control, 80% of its residents were Christians. But since the PA took control, that number has dwindled to under 20%.
Let's hear that again.
State. And Christians don't fare much better. When Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus, was under Israeli control, 80% of its residents were Christians. But since the PA took control, that number has dwindled to under 20%.
Let's hear it again.
And Christians don't fare much better. When Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus, was under Israeli control, 80% of its residents were Christians. But since the PA took control, that number has dwindled to under 20%.
Okay.
These are the people you want to give a state to? What you're doing is giving the ultimate reward to intolerant fanatics who perpetrated
Wait, actually, let me play that part again. Just kidding.
and supported the October 7th massacre. Giving the Palestinians a state 1 mile from Jerusalem after October 7th is like giving Al-Qaeda a state 1 mile from New York City after September 11th. This is sheer madness. It's insane, and we won't do it.
That was a good point, man, about Al Qaeda.
No, this is Sparta.
Here's a very funny fact, by the way. This is a map that I saw earlier today. It says how Palestine would look if Israel lost in 1948. This is very easily verifiable. In 1948, there was no goal of establishing a so-called Palestinian state. There was no goal of establishing a separate state. This goal only came into existence much, much, much later. Slowly in the 1960s, but then especially in the 1980s. At that point in 1948, had Israel lost the war, that place would have been split between Egypt, Jordan, and Syria. Now, Egypt and Syria allegedly had the idea of uniting or taking all of that and uniting it under one state that would be a greater Arab nation made up of Egypt and Syria together. But Jordan didn't like that. Jordan also wanted to take part of it. And Jordan had the plan of taking all of it for itself. But this is approximately what it would have looked like had Israel lost the war in 1948. There wouldn't ever be a so-called Palestinian state. The entire idea of a Palestinian state is a reaction to Israel having its own state. The entire ideology, the entire fundamental idea of so-called Palestine is being against Israel. That's all it is. That's literally all it's about. And Mike Winger had to go somewhere. I don't know where he went. Mike Winger probably went to get some water or something. I don't know. Mike Winger. Jack Ray, for both of you, who would you rather? Okay, I'll take that when Mike Winger is back. Fox Trader says, is Tucker Insane Laughter copyrighted? I'm not sure. DOYOB made a super sticker. Thank you so much, DOYOB. England Till I Die says digital ID cards, modern Balfour Declaration. No. An X account referred to the October 7 website as atrocity propaganda, and then they shared their own website of atrocities in Gaza. No self-awareness. Yeah. Jack Ray, I can tell the difference between David Wood and Mike Winger because Mike has too much bass on his microphone. Because he sounds like a real man. That's why.
He auto-tunes that crap, man.
Anyway, now that Mike Winger is back, Jack Ray says, for both of you, who would you rather debate, Candace Owens or the most annoying Muslim debater? Also, who would be the most annoying Muslim debater? Well, I would rather debate Candace Owens at this point, obviously. But the most annoying Muslim debater, who would that be? I don't even know. I would say personally, is one of the smaller debaters. Like there are several people that I have put on a blacklist, and I have asked James, please not to ask me if I want to debate them. And those are Perfect Dawa and Nader Ahmed, and lately also the Muslim apologist. Mike Winger, what's your answer to this?
Nadir's probably the most annoying. He always like instantly goes off topic and then uses the entire debate to challenge you to more debates.
Yeah,
he'll debate you and then he'll start. And I challenge you to another debate, and you can say okay. And he goes, and this other debate, and you say okay. And he goes, and this debate, until you finally say, dude, I'm not. And they'll go, look, he's running from me. And it's like, come on, dude.
This shows that all his points are moot and he has lost the debate already, because he has just admitted that he doesn't want to have any more debates because he knows that he will lose those debates as well. And we have demonstrated today that this is why Islam is the best explanation to the world's problems, and so on.
Black Milky, peak Syrian refugee crisis. There was a pic of that boy in the red jacket who drowned. The world poured its heart out and lost it. Muslim world learned from that. This is why they filmed their deceased babies. Phantom of the Injil. All I wanted was to be loved for myself. Says Phantom of the Injil. All right, let's continue.
So here's another message to those Western leaders. Israel will not allow you to shove a terror state down our throats. We will not commit national...
Not like the old, sorry.
Here's another message to those Western leaders. Israel will not allow you to shove a terror state down our throats. We will not commit national suicide because you don't have the guts to face down a hostile media and anti-Semitic mobs demanding Israel's blood. And I want you...
That's exactly what it is, right? That's exactly what they're backing down from. Hostile media and a bunch of screaming mobs. And they're like, okay, we have to do what these guys want, which basically encourages people to just keep doing that to get what they want.
I find it so funny. He's like, hey, we don't care. We don't care what you want from us. We are not doing it.
To grasp something else, which is also distorted in the media. I say this not only in my name or the name of my government, but on behalf of all the people of Israel. Last year, there was a vote in the Knesset, our parliament, whether or not to oppose the imposition of a Palestinian state. You want to guess what the results were? Out of 120 members of our parliament, 99 voted against and only 9 supported. That's over 90%. It's not a fringe group. It's not the prime minister who himself is extreme or he's held hostage by extreme parties to his right. It's over 90% of Israelis. My opposition to a Palestinian state is not simply my policies or my government's policy. It's the policy of the state and people of the state of Israel. Western leaders may have buckled under the pressure. And I guarantee you one thing, Israel won't. Israel's victories over the Iranian... Thank you, I know you won't too, that's good. Israel's victories over the Iranian terror axis have opened up possibilities for peace that were unthinkable 2 years ago. Take Syria. For decades, the very idea of peace between Israel and Syria seemed unimaginable. Well, no more. Today, we have begun serious negotiations with the new Syrian government. I believe an agreement can be reached that respects Syria's sovereignty and protects both Israeli security and the security of the minorities in the region, including the Druze minority. From the founding of Israel, Jews and Druze have been brothers in arms.
Jews and Druze.
We have fought together. We've bled together.
That should be a song.
Jews and Druze.
Jews and Druze.
Jews and Jews. Jews and Jews.
Jews and Druze.
Jews and Jews. Jews and Jews. Jews and Jews. Jews and Jews.
we built our lives together. When I was a young commander in Israel's Special Forces, my own life was saved by the invaluable advice.
Squatch Happens says, AP does not understand who the Israel of God is, let alone what his Eastern Orthodox Church teaches about Zionism. Squatch Happens, I give you one chance.
Yeah, I've never heard you say one thing about any of this.
One chance and one chance only. Use your next chat for this.
Wisely.
Or get out forever. I
Use
will
it
give
wisely.
you one chance.
You only get one
to
shot.
Give me the official teaching of the Eastern Orthodox Church about Zionism.
Do not miss your chance to blow.
Go ahead.
Do not miss your chance to blow, Squatch Happens.
Go ahead, educate me.
Come on, this is your chance. This you're in the big leagues now, Squatch.
Look, this is about Eastern Orthodoxy. I have an Orthodox cross right here with me. I'm holding it the entire time.
And he's a cat human in the Orthodox Church.
Do it right now. I give you one chance. Tell me exactly with source what the official teaching of the Eastern Orthodox Church is regarding Zionism. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
His palms are sweaty. Knees weak.
Go ahead. I'm waiting.
Come on, Sasquatch. Don't get scared now. You started it.
Look at the
battle has begun.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's proper beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. It even has Slavonic on it somewhere. You probably can't see it right here. Yeah. Go ahead. Please tell me. Come on. Tell me. Come on, man. Come on, Squatch.
Do it. Don't get scared now.
Come on, Squatch.
Don't get scared now, Squatch.
Come on, Squatch.
Don't be a blurry photo.
Come on, Squatch. Still waiting. Come on, Squatch.
Yeah, you're super tough until AP puts you on. Huh?
Come on, Squatch. Come on. If you want to, I can even invite you here on this call so you can explain to me precisely and directly with your voice what the official teaching of the Eastern Orthodox Church is regarding Zionism.
He'll make you
with
famous.
source. No ramblings. No, this person said, that person said, blah, blah, blah. No, directly tell me exactly what it is with source. One chance. You want to correct me? Correct me. Do it. Go ahead. Come on. I'm happy to learn here from you. You want to correct me? This is your chance. Go ahead.
Make his day. What a coward. Unless he's typing frantically.
There you go. There you go. Here's the answer. I do not need to give you the official source. Whether one exists or not is not the point. Eastern Orthodox persons, shut the hell up.
What a
Banned.
dork.
Banned.
That is the biggest fail. In
You are
the
a
history
liar,
of chats, man.
a coward, and an evil,
weak,
cowardly. I don't want to continue with that, But you're a liar. You're a liar and an absolute coward. You think you're representing the spirit of the Eastern Orthodox Church here? Coming and attacking somebody else on their beliefs, which you learned on Twitter are apparently wrong, according to the church. And then you can't even explain yourself when you are asked about it. Have you ever even gone to a church, man? Have you ever entered the church building? Have you ever even entered the church building? Have you ever gone inside and tried to participate in the church? But yeah, I'm going to respond to you since you are apparently too stupid to give me the answer. There is no Eastern Orthodox position on Zionism. The Eastern Orthodox Church has no teaching about Zionism. It simply does not exist, which is why nobody following the Eastern Orthodox Church is obligated to take one or the other position regarding Zionism. And by Zionism, you have to be very clear what you're talking about. Because people like you, who have no idea what they're talking about, I mean, I can't blame you. You probably don't even know what you're talking about. You probably don't even know what you're talking about because you hear stuff online from these dummies. You probably think, oh, Zionism must be what they get from the Schofield Bible. It's about Christian Zionism, about bringing about the end times within the temple.
Schofield wasn't even Orthodox.
Zionism is a political idea that is basically nationalism for the purpose of creating or rebuilding the state of Israel and protecting it from then on. The Eastern Orthodox Church has completely zero teachings about that. Absolutely zero teachings about that, which is why there are Eastern Orthodox churches and Eastern Orthodox priests that themselves are also Zionists. Not Christian Zionists, but Zionists. So please, instead of being an idiot online, go to church for the first time in your life and focus on learning something. Don't be an idiot.
So, did you explain why you're so ignorant of what your church teaches about Zionism?
Yes. Okay. All right. But I read from this one account online that Zionism is of the devil.
Well, I was over on the page of the online Orthobros, and they said this.
There was this account with an anime profile picture on X, and they said Zionism is about Antichrist.
There was a Twitter account, and it had a meme of what the Talmud says, and the guy had a little Orthodox cross in his name, so I know that's the official teaching.
I know that they're Orthodox because why else would they have Orthodox cross on their profile picture?
And I know if anyone has an Orthodox cross, they are the official spokesman of the Orthodox Church on Twitter.
Yeah, because the ecumenical councils actually said, follow whatever somebody says on Twitter.
I love our work, man.
Man.
Advice given to me by a great friend, Salim Shufi, a heroic Druze IDF veteran. And that's why I couldn't sit idly by, nor by a great friend, Salim Shufi, a heroic Druze IDF veteran. And that's why I couldn't sit idly by, nor could Israel sit idly by, while the Druze were being slaughtered by jihadists. And I instructed our forces to stop the massacre, which they promptly did. Peace between Israel and Lebanon is possible as well. I call on the Lebanese government to also begin direct negotiations with Israel. I commend it for its declared aim to disarm Hezbollah. But we need more than words. If Lebanon takes genuine and sustained action to disarm Hezbollah, I'm sure we can achieve a sustainable peace. Of course, until that happens, we will take whatever action we need to defend ourselves and to maintain the conditions of the ceasefire which was established in Lebanon. Our goal is not merely to monitor Hezbollah's actions, but to prevent them from violating the ceasefire and attack.
I find it so funny when they just show empty seats.
Well, yeah, it's funny because there's someone in charge of the cameras, and they're like, "Oh, he just mentioned this place. Let's show the empty seat."
Us at any time. But I'm sure that if the Lebanese government persists.
Now, AAA says saying go to church after saying you don't have any compassion for people dying in a war is ironic. Did I ever say that? Did I ever say that I don't have empathy for people dying in a war?
Yes, you said, I don't care if every man, woman, and child on the planet dies.
Did I ever say I don't have any compassion for people dying in a war? No. Did I say that? No. What I did say, and I will repeat that and say it again, if you have a terrorist organization and people who support their actions that explicitly and clearly and directly incite and ask for and support a war, and they want to kill and they want to die and they do then die, then I don't care about their deaths. That's what I said. And I stand by that. Thank you.
In its goal of disarming Hezbollah, peace will come very speedily and very readily. Victory over Hezbollah has made peace possible with our two Arab neighbors in the north. Victory over Hamas will make peace possible with nations throughout the Arab.
Well, AP, you said World War III should start because we're bored. That's true. I did say that. Yeah.
Made peace possible with our two neighbors.
That's not the same as saying he'd have no sympathy.
Yeah. I'm just saying I'm bored. That's all. Yeah. That's different.
Peace will come very speedily and very readily. Victory over Hezbollah has made peace possible with our two Arab neighbors in the north. Victory over Hamas will make peace possible with nations throughout the Arab and Muslim world. Our victory would lead to a dramatic extension and expansion of the historic Abraham Accords, which President Trump brokered between Arab leaders and myself 5 years ago. And I took note, as I'm sure you did too, of the encouraging words spoken here by the President of Indonesia. This is the country with the largest Muslim population of all nations.
Show Indonesia.
And it's also a sign of what could come.
Show Indonesia.
Forward-looking Arabs and Muslim leaders know that cooperating with Israel will provide them with groundbreaking Israeli technologies, including in medicine and science, in agriculture and water, in defense and AI, and so many other fields. I believe that in the coming years, the Middle East will look dramatically different. Many of those who wage war on Israel today will be gone tomorrow. Brave peacemakers will take their place. And nowhere will this be more true than in Iran. The long-suffering Iranian people will regain their freedom. They will make Iran great again. And our two ancient peoples.
Mega. Make Iran great again.
Our two ancient peoples, the people of Israel and the people of Iran, will restore a friendship that will benefit the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen, the horrors that happened on one...
Make Iran great again, nigga.
Get rid of the Iranian regime, man. Iran will be great again.
Yeah. I believe in MIGA.
One dark day, October 7th, those horrors happened countless times during the centuries of my people's exiles among the nations. Jewish blood was cheap. Jews were killed with impunity. We had to beg others to defend us. The rise of Israel did not mean that the attempts to destroy us would end. It meant that we could fight back against those attempts. And that is exactly what Israel has done since October 7th. Our sons and daughters fought like lions. Our brave soldiers donned their uniforms and rushed into battle. They were armed with the dreams of the 100 generations of Jews who came before them. The dream of living as a free people in the land of Israel, our beloved homeland for more than 3,000 years. The dreams of living in our own independent state. The dream of having an army to defend ourselves. And the dream of being a light unto the nations, a beacon of progress, ingenuity, innovation, for the benefit of all humanity. On October 7th,
I have a dream.
The enemies of Israel tried to extinguish that light. 2 years later, the resolve of Israel and the strength of Israel burned brighter than ever. With God's help, that strength and that resolve would lead us to a speedy victory and to a brilliant future of prosperity and peace. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the Prime Minister of the State of Israel,
See, everybody was clapping. The whole United Nations supports Benjamin Netanyahu.
And no boos. There were no boos.
Nobody said boo. Everybody there was clapping and applauding. So pretty good.
Hey yo.
Hey yo. What?
I should help out Nuria real quick.
Why?
Check out the post, man. Check out my post, man. I just quote tweeted it.
What? Just tell me what happened, man.
While we got 1,537 people here watching, that's a good time to tell people about what's going on with Nuria.
What is going on with Nuria? Help Nuria ex-Muslim if you can.
Yeah, click on her thing.
I knew speaking out would cost me. I didn't realize.
Go to the other one that's earlier.
But I will not stop. I will build a new and from a place of safety. The love and support of so many of you have shown already has meant the absolute world to me. Thank you. If you'd like me to rebuild, here is how. I have now lost everybody once I loved in my life, was speaking against my former faith, believing Israel should defend itself against Hamas, and defending Tommy Robinson for not being a racist, all gone.
Check out the comments. You want us to feel sorry for you or something? What a loser you are. Yeah. Anyway, that's Nuria, guys. We've she's cool. She's been on shows with us before, and now she's lost everyone.
I actually recorded something with her when I was in London.
And you haven't posted it?
It's currently being edited.
Dude, that would be perfect. If you edit it and then you just toss a link at the end, say, hey, if you want to help out Nuria, there's a good time.
That would be cool.
That'd be very based. And she's not even asking like for long time support or anything. She's just like she needs a couple things and needs to get set up again on her own in a safe place.
I like her, so I would completely support people supporting her and all that.
Yep, she's super smart. Blasts away at jihadis and stuff like that. So.
Jihadis. I'm gonna put this here and pin it. I know Nuria personally. She's good.
Nuria's legit, ladies and gentlemen. Nuria's legit.
She's very legit. Legit. Wait a minute.
Too legit to quit.
Legit. All right. Posting the link here and pinning it now. All right. All righty. You happy? You happy now, David?
Yes.
Good. All right. Uninspiring philosophy says, I don't trust Diddy, but I'll trust AP. Good. Yeah. So now that you have heard it from me, help out Nuria if you can. Susan Lee says it doesn't really matter what countries recognize a Palestinian state. In the end, Israel will decide if there is a Palestinian state. Absolutely. So, David, what do you think about the whole speech, man?
Pretty based, man. I have to say, was very interesting, man. Very interesting.
So go ahead.
Oh, just saying, very interesting. I seriously thought he would come out and try to be super nice and diplomatic. Nope.
He basically said, so
I will crush you.
Speech. I can summarize his speech. What he said is we will destroy you. We will continue fighting and continue living. And all you Western nations that oppose us, why are you doing this to yourselves, you idiots? You should be with us. Basically, that's it.
Hey, and I have to say, like, seriously, if Western people in Western nations did not rally around Hamas after every freaking terrorist attack, they'd have given up. They'd this wouldn't keep happening. right? It's like they understand, hey, we attack, we slaughter a bunch of people, and then Israel retaliates, and we run and hide, and the entire world starts hating Israel more and more and more. It's a long-term strategy. If they found out, if it just became clear from nations around the world, guys, you will never, ever, ever get what you want through terrorism. It's not going to happen. We're not gonna back you. We're not gonna back you or support you or give you a state because you went and slaughtered a bunch of people. It's not going to happen. Guess what? It would stop happening.
I don't know when somebody was talking trash about my Yoshi, but leave Yoshi alone. Yoshi's beast. Yoshi was with me when I was a child. Can you speak Polish? Yes, smile to Jahannam. I actually can, yeah. I know a few words. I know dziękuję and dzięki. I know tak and nie. I know dobre. What else do I know? I know kurwa.
And don't forget Polish sausage.
Sheikh Mike Ringeling says Palestine is actually a Jew psyop. Real Muslims support a one caliphate solution. Supporting Palestine is betraying Allah. This is true. Very, very true. It's in the name, Palestine. Palestine. Obviously Jewish, you know. Rick Newton, there is a two-state solution. Get rid of Islam and Israel to take over Gaza. 2 states for this to solution. This is true. Powerful. Daughter of the Most High, my Gazan friends don't want a 2-state solution. They want to live in Israel in peace, but they're Christians. They think differently. They're persecuted. I'll talk about that when I go to Israel next month.
How many Christians you talking to while you're over there?
50 million. Songs of Relief says, love you guys so much. AP channel member, 21 months. Beast. But one of the worst of creatures of about 30 years, and an AP junkie for about 7 of them. Cheers. Nice. Very, very nice. Very
They're
glad.
watching you from way back in the day.
Yep. From when I started out or something. Gargat the Y says the only identity Palestinians have that is not generic Arabized Muslim is a collective hate of Israel. Everything they do revolves around it. This is true. The entire nation is built on the idea of opposing Israel. Light Lord AP David Wood, does this mean the Sata verses are inspired? David, were the Sata verses inspired?
I don't know.
Satanic verses, sorry. Were they inspired? Going by John Fontaine's logic, were they inspired then?
Were they inspired? I don't know.
Yes, they were. Derek Golf says Bassem Youssef is the most annoying Muslim by far. Yeah, definitely, but he's not a Muslim debater, so you know. Sankey says, would David Wood support a Palestinian state if Mike Winger was forced to live there?
Yes.
Good. Orthozutlips Muslim.
And then I would support open war on that state.
Orthozutlips Muslim says Hamas is a death cult. You cannot reason with death cults. By the way, Mike Winger is cool.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
What?
So we started calling him Orthoduck Lips because in his picture he's doing duck lips like this. Looking like he's trying to kiss us, right? So, and then he started running his mouth. Everyone's scared of me. We're like, hey, what's up with you? Why are you doing duck lips, man? And then everyone started calling him Orthoduck Lips, right? But I saw a clip of him, and he doesn't actually, like, I was thinking like maybe his lips just look like that, and they don't. So he was actually doing duck lips for that picture, man. His lips don't like I was thinking, hey, are we actually just, is everyone making fun of him because the way his lips look? And then I looked, his lips don't look like that. The dude was seriously doing duck lips for a picture. A dude. I've never seen a dude do that, man. Like tons of women did it back in the day, and people made fun of them for always doing duck lips in all their pictures, and then it became less popular. And this dude's like, hey, all the ladies did it. How can I make this work for me?
All the ladies do it. Trevor Crawford says David Wood and AP number 62426. David, what does it say? You know, all the verses by memory, right?
Nope.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord
yeah,
make
that's in
his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Trevor. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very, very much. Appreciate that very, very much. Ortho Zutlip says, David Wood, if you were in a burning building and you could rescue only one, you either have to rescue AP's Yoshi or Mike Winger. Who would you choose?
Yoshi, obviously.
There you have it.
It's like, how's that even a question?
There you go. But which one is it? The red Yoshi, this one, or the
any of them? Don't care.
It'll be difficult to see because it's like it's burning.
Don't care.
Okay.
Any of them.
All right. Anything else, David?
That's it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'll be live tomorrow. Tomorrow, Cameron said that he's celebrating something like 1,000 years being sober or something like that. And
what?
He asked me if I want to join his channel to celebrate together with him. And I said 1,000 years sober. It doesn't sound very interesting, but yeah, I'll join. And it's then I didn't realize later on he said it's at the same time that we go live. So not sure what we're doing. But anyway, we'll see.
Hang on. What is this?
Hang on.
I see nothing set up already.
Hang on. Ashmay says, AP, watch my live tomorrow. I will watch your entire live tomorrow. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks always for joining. Elam says, are you too Jewish? It depends.
I'm 2.7% Jewish, 100% dope.
Thanks everybody for watching. And I literally have a cross here. David, do you have a cross too?
Yep. Maybe we're messianic.
They don't wear crosses.
I'm 2.7% Messianic Jew. Don't tell us what. Don't tell me what I'm allowed to do. You can't wear a cross. I'll wear a cross if I want.
Powerful. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. And as always, hear the call and heed the call. Which means
stay away from Islam.
There you go.